All over the world, there are talented artists whose art goes undiscovered. There's no denying that there's an incredibly wide gap among the industry and underground musicians. Our goal is to showcase and present 10 artists that have chosen to dedicate their lives to music. This is lost art that's been found. Each week, you'll meet a new featured artist. This is Up On Game Presents Lost Art.
Man, that's kind of scary. I guess I could. I'm about to get interviewed. We don't have a tripod. Shout out Up On Game. We don't got a tripod, but we still up. We still up. You feel me? What our tripod consists of is a bench, a bucket of putty, like drywall putty. This one time, LeVar gave me steak and lobster on the beach. Yeah, bruh. Bruh, he took me to Huntington Beach or one of those beaches, Redondo Beach, whatever. And I'm sure he remembers this, bruh. He was literally like, hey, man, you want some food? And I started eating. He's like, man, I love when you smile. He was like, you remind me of my nephew. I was like, for real? And now look at me. I'm over here. I do like food. Hey, the other day, right? I went to breakfast out in Glendale. I went to the breakfast spot, right where Steven lives. And I walk in and some lady's like, she's like with her boyfriend. And when I walk in, the dude goes, that motherfucker needs a comb or a brush to her. And you know what she said? She said, I kind of like it. She said, and why are you worried about another man's hair? I think what draws me to a good artist is someone who doesn't make excuses and someone who doesn't put um, like these crazy ideas in front of why they can't finish this or that. And usually after working with 30 or 40, you kind of realize like, oh, this is a repeating thing. Like people are holding themselves back. So what draws me to artists specifically are the ones that just go without like thinking. They just go off pure optimism and not gonna go wrong and goes wrong, but nah, the people that like what doesn't draw me to artists is the opposite, which is people who are like, nah, bro, the EQ goes at 3,500. Like nobody really knows. Only like a true engineer would know those little those, and we're not that. So the artist needs to leave the engineering to the engineer. You get it? Yeah, right. So nobody knows this, bro. I was in a band called The Lost Art when I was 12. It was me and my friends. We'd come over to my house every week and I'd have the drum set and everyone would just jam out every week in my house. And then they went to college and we like had like one show. But the name came back because Lost Art, something was wild. It was like, wait, Lost Art was the band I was in. I'm still doing music. I'm in LA. LeVar Arrington, Lost Art, they're all LA's. I'm like, this makes sense. So we're in a room, and I'm like, I want to do this because one, I fuck with people like y'all. Like that's why I wanted you to ask me that. I fuck with people like y'all that allow me to do this wherever I'm at. I could be in Atlanta, here, there, and I could just put this up, and we could do this. And honestly, meeting the people, bruh, because I feel like no bull. Just last year, I was not the same person. You know what I mean? So Lost Art was like an idea that I ran with, and I was like, bro, I get to meet cool people. We get to do what we want, say what we want, smoke what we want. I don't got a schedule. I'm getting paid for it, and LeVar literally gave me that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'd be a fool not to take this opportunity, bro. So that's why I did it. So all right, we're gonna get into easy in a bit, man. That's enough of me.
I got one more.
Cool. Okay.
So listen, man. I have one more question for you. I would really like to know because I know you live bit of a sporadic lifestyle. Like there's no real structure. Everything is kind of just on the fly. Like
That's crazy that you
sometimes
know
you're
that.
one day you're in this state, next day you're in this state. You're making all these moves, right? But like I know it can become exhausting, and I know that it becomes probably lonely and stuff like that. So how do you cope with those kind of things? Like, is there anything that you can say
Yeah.
that you do to kind of like keep yourself
Yeah.
on track when you're not feeling so motivated?
Yeah, bro.
You
That's
know what I mean?
crazy. Luckily, my whole life I've had like my dad or my mom or, Steven. But in this last season, bro, when I started doing this shit, making these moves, like you actually saw me go from like being in a relationship to this. And like what helped me keep going was really Steven and Ricardo and Navar checking on me, making sure I'm fine. They don't owe me. These people don't owe me. They're willing to help, me get through this, bro. So like, believe it or not, bro, like when I am lonely or I am sad, aside from smoking weed, I literally dog or doing these vices. um I actually spend a lot of time by myself. I actually pray every day. I meditate for at least 2 hours a day. So sometimes I don't eat. I'll just do different. But to answer your question, bro, when I feel sad or alone, I think about, man, what's Steven doing right now? Or what's Easy doing right now? Or what's Daniel? What's everybody I've ever met that's doing some doing right now? And I just like kick into gear and I'm like, bruh, I'm not trying to be average either, bruh. I'm trying to be vicious. Bruh. Like, let's be real at Northwestern, bruh. If I would turn a certain corner, bro, here's this fat. I was way wider, like way fatter, bruh. Like fat, and like I'd turn the corner and I'd have like a violin in my bag or some. I'm just getting clown, bro. The whole way I'm walking past these people, bro, I'm just getting cooked. I'm just getting cooked, son. Yeah, I would. Cooking me the first time I got mad for doing it. Like I was like Northwestern. I'm gonna say that on cap.
Northwestern High School, Mr. Thomas, Jerome Thomas. This is Lost Art, Jerome Thomas, BD. BD. Everybody at Northwestern.
Yeah, you know, this is my reunion year. I didn't go to that thing.
I didn't either, bro. I'm gonna say this again. Northwestern. I never want to go back. When, hey, we should talk about Northwestern, bro. Bro, I was at Northwestern leaving school. I would be pissed. I'd wake up. I'd go to school till 11. After art class, I would just find the door and dip. And I don't know how I graduated, son. I go to Joseph's house, play Guitar Hero. Did y'all know that BD got thrown down the steps at his new job? He broke it and won a lawsuit. That's the update on BD. The lost security guard. One time I was walking home and BD pulled up in a golf cart like 2 blocks from Northwestern. He's like, "How many days you want? 5 or 10?" And I was like, "Those are my like neither." He was like, "How many like suspension days you want? 5 or 10?" He was like, "You want 5 or 10?" I was like, "Neither." He just took me back to school. So. He was like, good on a golf cart, yeah.
Like, good. How do you feel being you? You know what I mean? Like,
well, earlier, bro. Well, that's what I'm saying. So the bullying law translated to me not giving a fuck about humans. So at one point, bro, I would just skateboard all day. Like that's a big thing for me, bro. Just skateboarding. Being escalated is just a man that gets like I get pleased with simple things like sausage in the morning, like skateboarding and like playing Super Smash Bros for as long as I can because at the end of the day, bro, like Escalade is something that was created by something other than me. But being that person, I think it is a blessing, bro, because not everybody just gets like a character attached to them so easily, bro. Like it was wild, but I think I am super blessed, bro. Yeah, like my brother calls me Escalade. Everyone calls me Escalade, but I'm Josue, bro. Like I want people to call me Josue, bro, because it's just fire, Josue. Josue's in the Escalade to success. I'm in the well. One day I want to Escalade, believe it or not, bro. But to be him easy, bro, it's like kind of like we'll get into it with you too. Like
it was like something that was kind of thrown on me, and then I just ran with it because I didn't have an identity as a kid. And now even like now in the future, I know who, like I know exactly who I am. People see Escalade, but I know who like I am, bro. I'm kind of like you. I'll be in the cut. I don't want to like be bothersome. I don't care about people. I don't care to impress people. You'll never find me in a club unless I feel like it. Like I don't try to impress nobody except myself. And I feel like that's how y'all are. Like we try to impress ourselves. And tell the world who you are, man, and where you're from, bro.
Bad brother, my name is Easy. Production name Easy Tapes. I'm from Hinesville, Maryland. I was born in D.C. and I'm a producer. And I'm an engineer. I'm a songwriter. I'm an aspiring artist. I'm good at everything I got to do, for real. So.
And how did you come up with the artist name Easy? For the people that don't know you.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I kind of gave myself that name. Nobody ever called me Easy. I called myself Easy because, first of all, my government name is Edwin. But for real, I just think it felt good. And then Easy Tapes is really just like, the tapes comes from like my upbringing. Like, when I came up, man, a lot of music wasn't really on albums like that. You was hearing a bunch of mixtapes. Like Lil Wayne was dropping mixtapes, Gucci Mane was dropping mixtapes to feed the streets for the free, right? And those were some of the best songs out. Like at the time, mixtapes was banging, and I don't really hear a lot of mixtapes anymore, you know? So like, man, I just keep that alive, I guess, in my name, Easy Tapes, you know what I mean? But it's a dying kind of art, you know? And so it's trippy. It's a trippy kind of concept, but you know, I fuck with mixtapes. I like mixtapes a lot, and I wish more people would drop mixtapes because I think when you make mixtapes, it's not really for the views and the counts. It's for the fun of it. Like, you're dropping shit that you want to put out because it sounds good. Like, East Atlanta Santa was hard. We can all agree on that.
You know, for the people that don't know you, man, how'd you get into music? You know, when did it happen? And,
okay.
Yeah, how'd you get into it?
That's a good question, man. So I started making music around 12th grade, I want to say 12th grade. I never did anything in school for music. I didn't even do any extracurricular activities really. Like,
so you didn't make a beat before 12th grade?
Nah, okay, I didn't. And so I was that's cool, bro. I honestly I was inspired by the people around me. So my boy Obani, shout out to that dude, man. He had an older brother named Alex Melgar. Yeah. And Alex used to make beats on FL Studio. I know Alex. Yeah, you know Alex. And he used to make beats on FL Studio. And he had this boy named Leon there too. Rest in peace to Leon, man. Yeah. I didn't know him, but I've seen him, and I you know, he was cool.
I was in the studio with him.
Yeah, bro. And they would just be rapping. They would rap. They was making songs, whole songs, in his room, and I was like. And then one day, Yobani had me like just messing around with a basic FL Studio. And that's when we were just using just the little like drum pattern thing, and we were just making a little boom bap, and it was dumb. We didn't even know how to use it. But then gradually I started meeting more producers from the area, and
that's crazy.
That's when it really took off. I started chilling with people that produced, and I started just learning more. In the streets was like the main kind of like, the influence, man. Like, not only that, but just being around, dog. Just being around and not really having so many outlets. Like, a lot of my peers weren't really doing anything positive. And so when I saw somebody doing music, I was like, I've always heard little things in my mind growing up.
So how did you go from, getting into music as a senior to the level that you're at now so quickly, bro? Because I'm going to say this out loud. This man's like top 5 in the DMV. Man, so how did you elevate, dog, to what's your process to get to where you're at now, bro?
I appreciate the love, man. Honestly, I did a lot of just applying myself, man. Just like, it was enough. It was fun enough for me to continue being interested in it, because I lose interest really quickly. Like, I don't know why I'm like that, but I just, even in relationships, and that's a whole other conversation, but like, I'd be just bored. And so FL Studio was one of the only things that was like really entertaining for me. And so I just did it a lot, and I just kept doing it and kept learning and kept finding I used to run into a lot of mistakes early, and then you would just find ways to you have to figure out the program, but once you figure it out, it's like a form of expression. So it's cool that like that's kind of how it took off because I'm a natural at it. It just felt like I naturally just do it. Like I could hear patterns in my head, bro. Like I just hear melodies, and so you can just, a lot of people play piano. I click mine in. So like, yeah. There's no real right way to do it, but you know what you want to hear. So like, if you can, all you have to do is find out what you want to express, and then figure out like how to express it. But like the more it's like muscle memory. Like the more you do it, the more you progress, and then the less difficult it becomes. Like it just becomes like water under the bridge. Yeah.
All right, next question. So,
for sure.
Let's tune into Easy. Maybe like a year out of high school. He's going through whatever he's going through.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm tuning into really where you were. And to where you are now. What do you think young Easy is looking at current Easy like? Would he be proud of where you're at right now?
That's
and like musically, I'm talking about like what was he thinking, and what would this Easy just say about what he was saying?
Yeah, I've never even thought of that. I think old me would look at me like, okay, so that Instagram reel that be like, it'd be like, we're not selling enough product or whatever. And then there's a picture of a baby, and it's like, wait, younger me is like, wait, we actually selling products? That's crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of how it feels. So it feels like I'm looking at this progress, and it's like, as I go, the inspiration hits me consistently. Like, 'cause it's hard to stay inspired in something that hasn't broke through yet, bro. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like I'm blind. This is blind faith.
Young Easy's proud.
Hell yeah, because it's like
that's all that matters. That's why I asked him.
I just got news of a major song dropping, bro, with a distribution label behind it called My Mind by Lil Jufu and Dyson Alexander on Friday. Go stream that. I co-produced that joint with my boy Jake Vicious, and bro, this is one of my first major placements, bro. And I just think that it's the first of many, and I would not have got here if I didn't believe that shit, So it's like.
And so the next thing, bro, is like, well, this is more of just talking out loud. Like, a lot of the people that we've interviewed, like, it's either they didn't have help and they have like a crazy story, or their parents have bread and they're backed up by their parents and. So where do you think you fall on that spectrum?
Man, that's a really good question. I think that I've never had, like, I'm a first gen. I like to call myself an anchor baby. My parents were from a whole different country. So I was there, I was there sticking the mud, you feel me? They grounded here, and then they basically gave me what they could, gave me the knowledge that they could. But at times I feel as though I'm at a bit of a disadvantage because I'm really coming from nothing. Like I really never had, my folks split. So it's been tough, man. It's been tough. And I think that if not for that, I wouldn't be who I am today. But I will say that, if I had everything already from jump, I'd probably be a spoiled mother. Like I'd be just entitled, and like I'd think that things are owed to me, but in reality, bro, like I take nothing for granted.
I've seen that.
I take nothing for granted, bro.
Thank you. So the reason I asked you that, bro, is just to basically point out, because what the show does is point out the people that we've interviewed that have it good, and the people that don't.
Right.
And usually, like you, someone that doesn't works way harder, makes less excuses.
Exactly.
And it shows in your music, so thank you, bro.
I appreciate the love.
So for the people that don't know you, where could they find you? What's your at?
I'm at Easy Tapes on near every platform, Twitter and Instagram mostly. I don't really use Facebook or anything like that.
Can you spell it?
EAST, not East, Easy. EASYTAPEZ. Not EAZY, EASY, like Easy Tapes with a Z at the end though. So yeah.
Yeah, so Easy, are there any things that inspired you coming up?
Yeah, for sure. For plenty of things that inspire me. It's crazy because I make mostly trap music. Like I make bangers when it comes to trap music. And I also make R&B. I make some Afrobeat and reggaeton and things like that. But I really listened to like a lot of rock growing up. I was listening to like Coheed and Cambria and like Screamo and like I would also listen to like just all kinds of music, bro. I was listening to like 80s rock, 70s rock. I was listening to like some techno. I was listening to Daft Punk and growing up.
System of a Down?
Hell yeah, of course, bro. But I don't really fuck with System of a Down all that much. You know, it's crazy. A lot of people probably like, what? But it's like, you know, I'm just not. I think my ears, everyone has a taste. So I think that it's not even just musically though. Like a lot of other things that have influenced me are like fashion senses, like early on, emo was literally a thing, bro. Like some people were posers too. Like some people actually was cutting themselves, and other people were like,
that's crazy,
acting. Like, you know, so it was because it was cool at the moment, kind of. Like you know what other band? My Chemical Romance. I was listening to them a lot, and Fall Out Boy. I was listening to Fall Out Boy growing up, and so that's why it's like, you know, how am I making this kind of shit now? But it's like, because that's what I like to hear. Like now I just like to hear some ignorant shit. Like not even all the time, you know, sometimes I veer off to like Tame Impala or like some cool chill alternative. But like for the most part, I'm listening to like, I don't even know who I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to like, I'm trying to think of some young folks that I'm listening to. Of course, I'm listening to Yeet. I'm listening to Autumn. I'm listening to Ken Carson. I'm listening to Kodak is hard. Can is hard, man. So of course, all the mainstream people, I definitely listen to all of them. But I'm thinking to myself, like, what do I listen to that other people aren't really listening to like that? And I'm thinking to myself, maybe like, you know, I don't know. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of young people.
That's fire.
Yeah, there's a lot of young people that influence, bruh, and that I like to listen to. And it's, like we said earlier, like energy it's prominent at this moment. I think if you have energy behind your raps, if you can make people like,
Jump.
Yeah. The youth wants energy, man. That's
coffee.
Yeah,
Keep going, though,
the youth wants energy, dog, and I just think that people don't really care about lyrical miracle stuff anymore like that. I mean, there's a demographic for it, of course.
They're the older people.
Or more intellectual type folks that don't want to hear the repetitive Playboy Cardi type.
People talking about killing people all day.
Yeah, and then the gangster like Young Boy. Listen, man. Shout out to Young Boy, he do his thing, but I don't like his music like that. I don't think that.
I only like the few.
I'm not like there are certain things that just bang for real, but most of the songs be
I heard Made No Sense.
That's that joint crank. That's what I'm saying, because they're like anthem type joints, but yeah, not only that, but he resonates with just the struggle, you know, and so that's why I think a lot of people can feel him, because he kind of gives a voice to the streets, man. And so, but I honestly I just don't like his voice. And I don't like Kevin Gates' voice either.
Kevin Gates
can't do it. I just can't. And he's cool. And shout out to Dustin, man. Gave me an opportunity to produce for him on his album. You know what I mean? It was all right. But that was one of my first, 51E gang, 51 Gang E June, excuse me, man. That's a long name, but shout out to homie, man. They gave me a real good opportunity and kept me going. You see, because opportunities keep going for real. It's crazy, because it'll be moments where I don't get any opportunities, like dry spurts, where it's like, is this what I should do, you know? But at least I have something to wonder about, because so many people don't even know what they're here for.
Yes,
you know? So,
bro. That's the
you know what I mean? So
they're here because of their baby.
I'm just living my truth, dog. And you know, exactly. And it's not even about, like, you know, what's crazy, like some people have children and still are successful, but I find that personally, you should be successful before you have a child. For real, for real.
That's what all of them say. Every parent says, "I wish I would have waited." That was just what I was trying to bring up earlier.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, man. And even if you listen to the music, it's crazy. I was talking about rock, right? But like when Juice was coming out, XXX Tentacion and like Trippie Redd, they sound like lead singers in a band. For real, for real. If you think about it, like they really sound like lead singers in a band.
Yeah, bro.
Like if you ever listen to like rock, like Panic at the Disco. Everyone can, if you play that at the club, if you play, oh, well, I did, and I made the curse corridor, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is my song.
That song just got amazing.
Yeah, man, and so that's why I'm just like, dog.
My generation don't know that song. You got problems.
What a beautiful wedding.
I think that those influences resonate throughout the culture
you
too.
You can't sing that without moving.
Like those influences resonate throughout the culture too. Like there are other people. I know Juice WRLD listens to My Chemical Romance. I don't even have to wonder about that. For a fact, he listened to that and Green Day and all those bands that were like.
Music video scream.
You can hear it in the music. So.
His estate got sued for that by.
Hell yeah.
Band. Yeah, his estate
yeah,
got
by
sued
Sting.
Yeah,
but you know what? You know what though? Honestly, it opened up the avenue of emo kid, like sad boy back up, because there was already Lil Peeps and like, you know, just already emo goth, like Xavier Wolf, I think is another giant that people listen to, like a bunch of sad people, they listen to like Xavier Wolf and they listen to like Suicide Boys and they like that like gritty type of 3-6 vibe. I'm not really too much of a fan, but like I know that people, they go towards certain things because it makes them feel things that they probably felt in the past that it just clicks. Like when people heard Juice WRLD and he interpolated that song, I'm pretty sure everyone subliminally already had heard that song in their past. So when you heard na 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 na, you were like, oh, I've heard this before. It's universal. So it like clicks. I still see shadows in my room, and I was just like, oh yeah. And it was a banger. And you know what? He couldn't even keep ownership of the song, but just the fact that it blew up turned him into a superstar. And so it didn't matter. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. No. Yeah, man. And so things are fueling, like persona fuels popularity, bruh. Like I think that, for example, people like Yeet, they give off a persona, but they're just regular like people, just like everyone else. But people think about, it's all about perception, really. Like you see somebody and you're like, oh, this has a 50K watch on and these big round looking designer shoes that you've never seen before. And all of that plays like a subconscious role. It's like, it plays at your emotions like, oh, this is something superior. It's like, you see designer, you see A1, you see in Paris, whatever, right? And it's like, it's crazy. That persona drives the clout almost. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, it drives the clout. Like, but yeah, I think the most important thing that drives me is being true to myself. And I know you didn't ask the question, but I'm thinking to myself, like, the thing that drives me most is not conforming to what society wants to make of people, bro. Because most of the time, like, you know, there's so many rat traps to fall into. Like, I could be trapping right now. I could be climbing a corporate ladder or doing some other shit, you know what I mean? But this is just me living my truth, man. I'm living my truth. And I got homies around me that's living their truth. And that keeps me going, because if not for that, I'd feel like not motivated. Like, I'd be like, I guess what makes me so special? But seeing other people do it and even achieving things, it's like, oh yeah. I don't hate on ever. I never hated. You know what I mean? If anything, I be trying to inspire, bro, but people be taking it as like me being condescending almost. But it's like, man, I can't show people how to take information and apply it. Like, you take it how you want it, basically. You know what I mean? So that's one of my biggest things is just developing yourself. Self-development is the most important thing, because if you can develop yourself and elevate in whatever you're good at, then you're gonna attract the things that belong to you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to really do the most. So I don't even go out. I don't go out. I don't f with people. I don't, because people be weird, bro. People be, and I don't even like, it's as cliche as that. It sounds so cliche, bro.
It's not.
It does sound really cliche, but people don't. People always will try to look out for whatever their best interest is. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I don't open up, man. Like there's only a select few. You know what I mean? Like
That's why
people
this
around.
Works, 'cause it's just us.
Exactly, bro. And so, like, dog, honestly, people just throw energy off. People don't even have to talk. It just the way people stand in a room. It's funny. Like, it'd be funny. And so I don't do the social gatherings like that.
That's a good thing, bro.
I will in the future for sure. Man. But I'm not gonna be in no section or on no dance floor. I'm gonna be
at your listening party.
I'm gonna be backstage, brother. I'm gonna be on the stage, or I'm gonna be not where everybody else is at. You heard? Mm-hmm. You heard? Because
I think of, like, you know who he reminds me of? I honestly said this when I first met Easy. Like, you know that group Gorillas? They was fired, but they didn't really care about putting their face out. That's how I think. I'm like,
and you know what, bro?
To put yourself out there, but your music's fun.
Exactly. But you know what, man? I gotta put myself out there. I have to. The reason why I have to is because otherwise, brother, I'm not even.
You're gonna be doing this. We're already doing this.
Am I really? Is it really my truth if I don't actually go through with everything? Like, I don't need to be shy about nothing. I'm camera shy. And so, basically, bro, back to what I was saying. I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm high for real. Yeah. But even before that, I was thinking about something else to tell you. Being camera shy, bro. Oh, yeah. I know so many people that have not reached a greater potential because they don't feel good behind the camera. And I think that in order to even become the person that you want to be, you have to be able to be unapologetically yourself, whether there's people watching or not. And so, you know what I mean? Like, people be trying to, like, bitch up in front of a camera or act like whole different people. I could just make my voice sound like this, and I'm Lil Wayne because that's sibling. But I'm not gonna do that. My voice sounds like this.
Yeah, that's why. That's
I don't have to do that. Niggas be trying too hard to be cool. I'm not. This is who I am. You either gonna fuck with it or not.
Right, so, we from North. Oh yeah, let's talk about Northwestern, bro. How was
it? School was cool. I'm not, I don't look back too much about school because that shit is so long ago. Like, at this point, man, my life is a whole different story.
Yeah.
I done built this shit from the ground up. Like, I got homies around me that's on the same thing that I'm doing. You know how I got here? You want to know how I got here? For being true to myself, bro. Yeah. Like, not really trying to be something. I could be, gang banging, dog, and doing funny shit. And I know a lot, no offense, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there doing that shit. That's your reality. So be it, bro. I can't tell nobody. I'm not going to play unpaid therapist, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I got out of the trap, I just want to show people that there's a way, man.
Me too.
There's a way out, You don't have to be what your circumstances are.
They don't think he was in the trap. He was right there in the trap with me.
That's what I'm saying, dog. We're not in the same playing field as regular people, man. All we got to do is get one good song and have people listen to that, and we'll see. We'll see.
I have another question.
You know what I mean?
How do you feel about the industry in current day and how they treat producers and like high-profile placements?
Honestly, producers begin under the stick a lot of the time. A lot of the time, there's like a lag in payment. People be trying to like hold out until they can recoup or whatever the case might be. And it's bullshit because in reality, the same way they can put clauses in contracts, there should be like a clause where it's like, regardless of how long y'all take to do what y'all got to do on y'all end, I should have my in a timely fashion, because I don't want to sit and wait until someone decides to push my for me to get my bread. Like, if anything, that's the case a lot of the time. And even still, bro, like, I know there are things that I've seen or heard of that put producers really don't get the recognition and the love that they deserve. Like I think videographers get more love than producers if we're being real, and even engineers even worse than producers, bro.
Yep.
Like engineers get even less. Engineers be getting bitched at. Like they will talk to you like any kind of way. Sometimes if you're like a less stern engineer, people will try to like have their way, and it's crazy because like, man, I just think that as important of a role as a producer plays, we should not be dealing with the things that we deal with. Like a videographer can get paid up front. Like what else? Other people get cuts of people's money without even doing anything. Like people be A&Ring and just get bread off of that. And that's cool. Like if there's an agreement.
What do you think about BeatStars?
They said Buddha Bless the Beat was a gold producer, but he produced on Culture and all that stuff. So all that with multiple platinum. So why is it that BeatStars
They're making bread on producers
is talking about like they basically they're diminishing people's like accolades.
Exclusivity,
The
right?
accolades. Nah, because bruh, but Buddha Bless the Beat is a multi-platinum producer, but on their post they put gold producer, which in turn actually makes it worse for them because it would be better to have a multi-platinum producer on your platform versus a gold. So why would you even do that? Honestly, get a Shopify, and open up your own beat store so that way all the revenue goes to you and you don't have to cut nobody. You're gonna have to pay a monthly, but if you can get residual, like, or not residual, but recurring sales or recurring customers, then you don't need a BeatStars. And BeatStars doesn't even do anything to push your. It just gives you a platform.
Expensive too.
Yeah, and they take a cut, and I think you also have to pay to get in too.
Good, bro.
Nah, you good.
All right, man. Let's do it, man. Wait, Swizzy, right?
Yeah, he's about to be like Swizzy.
Swizzy! Where did you, like, grow up?
I grew up actually like, so that's actually a weird question.
Yeah.
It's a weird question. I would say, technically, the answer to that would be nowhere.
What you mean, bro? Where?
The answer to that would technically
You just
be
everywhere.
No, like as a kid, I moved like so much. I never lived somewhere longer than a year. But like
Oh,
my
wow.
family always lived in the same place. Like family always lived uptown, same house for like 30 something years, Northwest for the most part.
Would you say DC, Maryland?
I could say anything and nobody would actually like, nobody would say anything.
All right, man. So what's up, Swizzy? Tell the world what your name is, who you are, what you do, man.
Hey Swizzy, formerly Jiggin Swizzy, I guess. We ain't jigging no more. So.
Where can people find you? What's your app, bro?
My S Hey Swizzy, HEYSWIZZY, Hey Swizzy. Look me up, big bro.
So
Got a lighter?
For the people who don't know, this is one of the top 5 producers out here. I truly believe that in the DMV.
I wouldn't say that.
I believe that.
I
bro.
wouldn't say that.
I believe that.
Hey.
I believe that. I don't care what you.
Personally,
I believe that, man.
Hey, I feel that.
Opinion.
Hey, the reason why I personally wouldn't say that is because I like to think of myself as like a support background character. Like I'm like a support to the top 5 producers in the DMV. I help them be as great as they are. Like I know that like everybody needs a solid team and a solid backbone. I can't be trying to outshine people. Like even if I know I'm good myself, like somebody gotta shine.
For the people that don't know you, what's your specialty, man? What do you do? What's your title in the studio?
I'm a lot of things. I'm an engineer, most of the time lead engineer, studio manager in most cases.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to say. He be too humble.
And most of the time, and you said, "Hey, be too humble." I like to help people, but like, I feel like my position is to elevate other people and help other people get to where they need to be. Right. That's my position. I'm really good at that.
Right.
And
talk to us where that comes from. Like I know music's a big part of your life.
Yes, music is a big part of my life. Bro? From my perspective, I was born into music.
Tell us about it, bro.
I was born into music. So like my father was a producer engineer, so and also a keyboardist. He played with the Stylistics, like a lot of big bands like Heatwave, Stylistics, Seven Sons of Soul, like stuff like that. Like he played with a lot of like like old people, like you know, it's like that old R&B super, really like that. That
So
yeah,
from the moment, you know, when you were younger, your dad would take you to the studio?
yeah. I was in the studio all the time as a kid. Like I can name countless nights in the studio. Like as a kid, like I lived in the studio as a kid for real. Like when I was growing up, I had a console in my living room, and I remember like my dad would be like at work sometimes, and I'd be at the house, and like I would try to like figure out how it worked. Like would never tell him for the most part. And then one day I guess he noticed I was touching. And he was like, "Oh, you want to learn this?" And then let me run a session one day.
Right.
So then from there it was like it was set in my head. I was like, I gotta do this.
Right.
And then for me, like my father had like he got brain cancer and it passed away. So before it's all right. I was pretty young. I was like 15, 16 around it. So.
Still, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough patch for me. But it was all right for the most part. From there, like I don't even know. From there I probably lost myself for a little second.
Yeah.
Jumped into the streets a little heavy, but always maintained like beats. But it's like, so then I moved to like Laurel from around that time after my dad passed. And I had a friend named, like, we called him like KE, because he looked like he made beats like KE on the track. Like, it's probably most people don't know about him.
K-E.
But like, yeah, he's not prominent in today's era.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's like 2010 through 2014 type super producer.
Yeah.
Okay, like nowadays KE on the track, he's not so prominent. He was like fire, and he's like he made beats like KE, so we called him KE. And he had FL Studio, and he taught me how to use FL Studio, make beats and whatnot.
Right.
Gave me a crack version of FL.
So same thing I was telling Easy earlier. I asked him like, what is it that led you to elevate to such high, like, you know, levels, bro? Like you're not. I wouldn't say you're the average producer. After meeting you a few times, bro, you know more than the average Joe. Tell me about that. How did you get to be so damn smart at this shit, bro? Like, you know about terms and shit motherfuckers don't know. You be installing shit. You're the plug for music. Like, how did it get to that? Just your interest, and I know something else happened.
No, it's mostly like my father. My father passed, and I felt like I was close to him, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him and learn the things that I wanted to learn from him. So I had to learn that through self-exploration, and that only comes with you wanting to learn this stuff. Like the level of knowledge I have only comes with wanting the knowledge. If you don't like it, you're not gonna learn as much.
So in a way, you're like carrying on the legacy.
Exactly.
That's pretty deep.
My father, he was a pretty good engineer. Like he used to set up studios, do installs and stuff like that. So for me, I was like, if I'm gonna be an engineer and someone's gonna be like, oh, your Teddy's son is an engineer, I have to be able to like live up to whatever they think that I would be capable of. At this point in time, like I far exceed that. Like I far exceed what they think I'm capable of.
I know, bro.
And it's because I knew I had big shoes to fill. So with the big shoes to fill.
That's actually really beautiful, bro. So tell me about your other family members. Your mom, you grew up with your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's still around too?
No, my mom's passed too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, both of my parents are passed.
Bro.
Yeah,
that's insane, bro. You're such a strong person, bro.
Yeah, she actually died in her sleep one day.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
It was it's not the worst. At least you were peaceful.
So can I tell you something? You know, for other people out there that probably, you know, just like yourself, you know, probably a younger Theo who's like 18, 19, what do you tell that person who probably don't got their parents either? Like, how did you get through these, like, such a difficult...
At the end of the day, it's always a faith. You have to have a faith in a higher power always. And you have to believe in yourself. To believe in yourself and know that you're capable of doing anything regardless of the lack of whatever you think you're lacking. Because remember, if you're lacking something in one area, there's always something in another area to make up for that. You just have to acknowledge what area there is that makes up for that and go headstrong in that direction.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's deep.
For real, for me, it's like, yeah, I lost both of my parents, but I have music. So I put all of my like time into music. I went to Omega, graduated from Omega for music and whatnot. That's really what helped me with a lot of terminology.
He was in music too?
Yeah, he would definitely love that.
Proud as shit.
Yes.
I bet he'd be proud, bro.
Definitely would be proud.
Hey, man,
and I have some childhood friends like that actually like still have their parents from like music stuff, like, and they're in like amazing places doing amazing things. So it's like me, I'm like, if only I still have my parents, but it doesn't matter. I have what I have.
You still getting help.
I have what,
That's
and
crazy.
it's not even about getting help. It's about
Oh, okay.
I still have my own race, regardless of what I have, and I still gotta finish my race. Everybody, you gotta finish your race, bro. Don't ever give up. No matter what you're faced with, you can't give up.
Right, for
'Cause
yeah.
You can never give up.
That's great advice, bro. I think people would take away a lot from this. I can't imagine to be in that position. You know? Hey, but bro,
Bro, it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
How do you think things are going today for you, bro?
Things are going pretty good for me today, actually. Things are going pretty good.
Man. Look at that smirk.
Things are going pretty good. Got some things lined up. Got some big motions. Some big motions. Big motions.
So tell me, bro, when you're making a beat, what's your process? Where do you start? What inspires you?
Okay, lately I've been trying to get out of the process of thinking of like type of beats or thinking of people when I make beats.
Yeah.
Just making what I want to make and what I hear in my head. So it's like when I originally started making beats, that's what it was. It was like I had to get out what I have in my head. And then somewhere I lost myself and like you have to like get this sound, this industry wave sound.
Right.
And then I came back to the realization that I can just make the new industry wave sound.
Right. And so that's interesting. In the out of the ears of Theo, out of the ears of Swizzy, like what dictates a good song? What makes a song? What makes a beat fire
to me?
Yeah.
What makes a beat fire to me? There are a lot of different types of beats that are fire, and most beats are fire in their own way. You just have to figure out who is the certain like client or the certain type of demographic for that sound. Every sound has a demographic. Every beat is fire to somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Just think about that. Every beat is fire to somebody. Even if somebody thinks it's ass, there's another person who thinks it's fire.
Who thinks it's fire, bro? That's so crazy.
That's what it is. Everything's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to find the people you think something's fire. Like everything's fire in its own way. You just have to look for the fire parts in it. Like don't always be so quick to look at the negatives in something. Look at the positives in it. If you like it, work with it. If you don't, leave it there. Exactly. Look at something you like. Somebody else will like it. And even if you're the maker of something, somebody doesn't like it, doesn't mean it's not good. You just gotta find somebody else. They're not the person for that.
All right. So who do you listen to growing up?
I listened to a lot growing up. A lot. A lot of Young Scooter. I listened to a lot of Young Scooter, man.
Uh-huh.
So Young Scooter's like...
Young Scooter?
Yeah,
I've never heard of him.
You've never heard of Young Scooter? Young Scooter taught me how to hustle.
For real?
Young Scooter, I wouldn't be as good of a hustler if I had never listened to Young Scooter.
Yeah.
He has some songs that like I can't even find them today. Like the Finessing and Flexing mixtape. You go look for the Young Scooter Finessing and Flexing mixtape. You're like, it'll be so hard to find that it's like, yo, did you take this down? I think you did. I don't know. But the Finessing and Flexing mixtape, bro, show you how to get some money, bro. It showed you how to really be a hustler. Like I was young, listen, I was real young, like on the block. I was like, he tells you some things you probably shouldn't know in them songs right there. Yeah. Listen to a lot of Young Scooter, really, and then like G Herbo. Listen to a lot of G Herbo coming up. G Herbo, amazing.
I'm supposed to meet that,
bro. G Herbo's amazing. Listen to a lot of G Herbo, stuff like that.
What was his name? Scooter?
Yeah, Young Scooter. Yeah, it's like future people. Really, it's future people for real. That's FVG, future people for real. Yeah, Black Migo Gang.
Who else would you say played a role in your
And coming up early, really it was mostly producers. I wouldn't say it's artists.
Yeah.
It's mostly producer based. Because I'm somebody who was heavily like involved in, once again, the mixtape era. And it's like Lex Luger's of the game. Lex Luger's of the game. Like I was listening like, exactly. You see what I'm saying? KE on the track. Most people, and you see what I'm saying? People are like, who are these people? These are like, exactly, like,
beginning it says
KE on the track. KE on the track. Like people like that, like, what's his name? Bro, like that we thought was other bro who went out Baltimore.
I forgot, man.
I can't remember his name.
Do you have a favorite producer?
Of current day, do I have a favorite producer?
I would wish I got that question.
Do I have a favorite producer? In current day, no. Maybe I like Chop Squad DJ.
Damn.
And it's not even mostly his. I'm not a big fan of his percussion. I love it. But sometimes some of it's doing too much. Sometimes. But it's his melodies. He's like, actually, I do have a favorite producer. Zaytoven. Zaytoven is my favorite producer. I will say that Zaytoven actually like inspired me a lot coming up. But if you listen to a lot of my earlier beats, I have like beats where you'd be like, bro, you play like Zaytoven. And I'd be like, yeah. And I've stepped back from it because Zaytoven has a coin sound. As soon as you start giving all of those accidentals, they're like Zaytoven. And you're like, man, I can't even use accidentals anymore. I can't use accidentals anymore. You think I'm Zaytoven? I start crazy in the accidentals and I'm Zaytoven now. He's coined accidentals.
Damn, favorite producer is a good question though.
Zaytoven would be mine. He's even in today's, he's still relevant. He's somebody who made it past the Lex Luger era and is still relevant in today's era. Like, not many producers can do that. Not many producers have done that.
All right, so Swizzy, man, I mean, I don't mean to like point this out, but what happened that you lost a tooth?
That's actually really crazy. A family member asked me about that the other day. They were like, why don't you get another tooth? And I was like, I don't know. I just be busy. I should get another tooth. But I got shot in the face. Yeah, I got shot in the face.
Dog. Can we talk about that for a second for the people that don't know you? Because I've heard the story.
Yeah. So I was chilling one day about to go to the studio. And then I was with a friend behind his house smoking, just finishing J4. I go to the studio. We were in like an alley smoking. So, of course, people would be like, why was you in the alley smoking? Nah, I know. But I was chilling in the alley, so behind his house. So I was about to leave, and I went to leave. A car came through the alley, came in front of me. 3-4 dudes hopped out, guns trying to rob me. So me, I'm like, trying to rob me? I'm in a car. I just reversed, tried to turn around in the alley and go the other way. They shot my car. I got shot in the face. Bullet came through the windshield, hit me in the face. I was like,
So what happened after that?
Leaned out the car, spit out the bullet, and I was like, I shot me. It's like, you shoot me for? Like, nigga, you mad? You wanted this? Threw the money at him. Like, where's the bread? Stevie J. Like, money flew like in a line and hit him and everything. I was like, you wanted this? Take it. It was only like $800. Only like $800 on me, bro. I'm like, bro, you shot me for $800. The fuck is wrong with you?
So you went to the hospital?
Yeah, at that point, like, I threw the money. They stole my car at that point. Like, they kind of just, like, ignored me, picked up the money, and just stole the car. And then I was like, y'all dumb. The car shot up. Why would you steal a shot up car? And they just ignored me still and just drove off with the car.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I had, like, all of my studio equipment, minus my U87 in the car, too. I didn't...
Just the mere fact that you're still here is a miracle, bro. And, like, I'm telling you, out of all this, I'm going to say something now. Out of all the stories I've heard, for those listening, this is by far the craziest one. So, like, I'm glad you did that. I'm just going to... That's fucking wild, bro. Thank you for sharing, too, because that's... Bro, most people, I can tell you, they don't want to talk about that shit. Like, I want you to know you can feel comfortable like that.
Yeah.
And you know, the people that are listening, like, I hope that they understand that this is real shit. This is like... No,
yeah, that's real life. Like, some people don't understand that's real life.
And the fact that you could even tell a story, bro, the fact that you're living to tell a story and you're like able to laugh it off, like.
Some people called me Bruce Leroy one day. Someone was like, you like Bruce Leroy? A tooth? All you lost is a tooth and you got shot in the face? Like, the bullet was in my mouth. I had to spit out the bullet.